Hey, what's up, everyone? Matt Diazable coming at you with some more album reviews. Thanks for coming on by. If you're new, I appreciate you discovering me and watching. Yeah! Today, I'm checking out the band Sleater-Kinney with their latest album, Little Rope. Now, a little background on this band is they are based out of Olympia, Washington. This band is started back in the mid 90s, if I'm correct. They fall into the category of indie music, indie rock music. They've had members come and go. I don't know why I said it like that, but the two remaining members have been in the band consistently since the start of the band. And I didn't know at the time when I listened to this, but one of the members is from the show Portlandia. She's the comedian. I forgot something Bernstein. I can't remember her name and everything, but I didn't know this is her band. I always knew she was making music and everything, but this is like her main project she's been doing since like I think in her university days and everything. And she's been doing it with her friend who is the main vocalist of this band and everything, and has been going in the circuit for about 30 years now. Their names, I can't remember off the top of my head and everything. I'm doing this off the dome, and I've done this intro like 3, 4 times. So we're just going to go into this review now. And one last thing, thanks to my friend. I'm not going to say your name, but thanks for the recommendation. I appreciate it. This is a pretty cool album to check out. We got some slow and soft guitar strumming with some really clear vocals and lyrics coming through that create like a sense of acceptance while listening to this song. And then, boom, you get smacked in the face with some large indie rock ruckus and everything. And then you're back to that like soft, like slow ambience and everything. So the vocals are very tamed and then they get really unleashed. So it's like a real back and forth that sounds really cool. And overall, it's just a really hard pop rock song that with some good popping drums. Drumming on this particular track is really in the pocket, especially with the kick drum like really like coming in nicely and everything. The synthesizers in the background create like a nice buzzing sound that really gives the song some more dynamic sounds to it and everything. The vocals have a really haunting and sexy like sound to them that sound really cool. It kind of reminds me if there was like a category of music called indie western music, like half of the song reminds me of that. And then also I get feelings of like Joan Jett if she went more of like an indie direction instead of like a rock sound. So with that being said, here's a little clip of Needlessly Wild. Just sounds really good, and especially those drumming. It sounds really. Drums are really mixed and good on this track, especially with how cool and slow and haunting they sound. And there's also like a cool metronome effect in the back, like or like a beat or something that sounds really cool. The vocal performance here is really good, but at times it does seem a little bit buried. And it's okay, but yeah, they could do work on that a little bit. She sounds really cool during the chorus and everything. And I want to say the riffs kind of sound sloppy, but they kind of give it some twang and everything. Very bass driven song here with like a catchy vibe to it and everything, with some really simple drumming that's just using the hi-hats nicely and everything. The vocal performance here unfortunately seemed a little bit flat, and the guitar seemed a little bit muddled, so it's a bit more distracting than good than anything, I think. This is a more upbeat song here with like funky guitar work, but I will say the bass is really muddled here, and at times it sounds like it's really like blown out, like the amp or something. Like it just sounds really bad. And sometimes the guitar work sounds more out of tune than funky. So it's a bit of a mixed bag song. This song sounds like it should be in like a Judd Apatow movie or something with like the feel and the sound of it and everything, with the drums sounding so tight. Guitars are really ripping here. Bass is a little bit too blown out, but it kind of works here, I think. And some really weird singing styles that just catch your eye, or like your ear and everything. And as the song goes along, the riffs on this song, kind of a bit of an earworm that get kind of caught in your head and everything. But I will say the guitar solo towards like the later part of the song, it's a little rough. So I'm gonna play a clip of Don't Feel Right for you. That vocal performance is a little weird, but also that guitar in the background sounds really cool, right? You got some large drums here with some dirty bass, and it sounds pretty cool. For vocals, they do sound like they got some like deep emotions to them, and it sounds really good. Like she's singing from a really like painful place here. There's a wall of sound that just really kicks in with guitars and bass that like are like very like impressive, but also like not impressive. Like they're kind of messy at the same time. So I would say there's a lot of potential in this song, but like it overall gets kind of bogged down by the weird production here. I think. This song reminds me of the band Placebo in terms of like how the guitar work is being played here. And her vocals sound really, really cool here, but again, a little bit buried in the mix, I think. But once like it like really kicks in with the drums and everything, the production sounds really good on this track. And it's got like an overall constant catchiness to this song and everything. And I would say the guitars have like a really cool effect to them, and it's really cool to like listen to. Feels like you got some warm synths here and everything being backed up by some mild drumming and everything. Low and harsh guitars with some low sounding vocals that create like a cool atmosphere, I feel like. The group just reminds me of a female version of Placebo, especially on this particular track. Sonically, the song sounds really, really good, has a good flow to it. And I love how the song kind of goes up and down in terms of like how she harmonizes her vocals and everything. And the synths at the end of the song really add a layer of sadness to the song that I really like. So here's a sample of, or a clip of Dress Yourself.
Give me a new word for the old pain inside of me. Give me the madness. Give me the memory. Give me a new word.
So soft and chill. This song has a very large and grand like feeling to it and everything. Her vocals are mixed in really well here. The guitars have like a large and whiny sound to it that creates like a 90s grunge-like indie sound that's cool. The drums are really pulled back here to let the guitars do more of the work and everything, and it sounds really good. Very passionate sounding song, especially with how the guitar sounds so bold and everything. So very good like closing song, I think. This was a very refreshing album to listen to because there's a lot of variety here in terms of like there's like ambient sound music, hard rock anthems, and some really weird music thrown in there, and it keeps you on your toes and makes you really enjoy the album because there's a lot of catchiness and a lot of like emotions thrown in this album, and it's really good. And I really like that this band kind of reminds me of my favorite band Placebo in many ways in terms of sound and playing and song structures. There's a lot of similarities that I enjoy here. I would say the drumming on this album was very tastefully done because it was like simple and not too overly done and everything, nothing too fancy, and it always was just really popping and it sounded really good. Her vocals sounded really good, had a lot of passion, a lot of emotion, it felt like. But I would say at times the production kind of messed things up, I think, and put her in the mix a little bit too low because she has a really wonderful voice that needs to be heard more, but at times it got a little bit buried and everything. And the next thing I want to say is like probably the most interesting thing about this album is the guitar work, but at the same time, it's the most problematic, I feel like, because they have a very unique sound when it comes to their catchy guitar rhythm and everything. But at times they can get a little overzealous, I feel like, and go a little bit too much into distortion and the zaniness and wonkiness of their guitar work. But it's a really good like balancing act between like overly done and just right and sounding really good. And I would say the bass is kind of the same that as well too, because at times the bass sounds almost too loud and kind of blown out, it feels like. But at times it has a really nice mesmerizing sound to it and everything. So there's a lot of like back and forth between like how the songs are being played and how they're being mixed and produced here. But overall, the songs are really good and well crafted and have a really good feel to them. So you can kind of get past those little hiccups here and there with the production and everything. So I would say this latest album from Sleater-Kinney, Little Rope, fine little gem. They've been in the game for a long time, probably need more recognition because I think this album is a good solid 8 out of 10. So if you're looking for some new indie style music and want to support some bands that have been going around for a long time, check them out down below. Let me know what you feel about this album and just review and everything. And until next time, guys, bye.
When you're gone, I'll tell them my religion's you. When punctures